Contact me at timscomputerfix.net to find out how you can ship me your laptop for repair. Hey guys, Tim here, timscomputerfix.net. In this video, we're going to be replacing a keyboard on a Lenovo Carbon X1 ThinkPad. Now, customer says water was spilled in this general area. She immediately shut the laptop off and flipped it upside down. Now I've gone ahead and started the process of kind of checking to be sure, you know, there's no liquid damage on the electronic components beneath this keyboard. It doesn't look like the water seeped all the way through to, you know, the main board or anything of this. But what I'd like to do is really in this video is to kind of show everybody how we're going to actually identify the exact model of this. Now, not just through the sticker that's on the bottom of this computer, but there's also some model numbers that are imprinted on the circuitry inside and the parts inside, how to find exact part numbers, particularly the keyboard. And I'm not sure at this point yet if I'm going to be replacing the keyboard or the whole the whole palm rest with the keyboard. Looking online at some parts and everything, you know, depends upon what I find. We may just do the keyboard, or we may do the whole entire palm rest, depending upon what I find. So right here, we do have the actual model number of this computer, of this laptop. I haven't even looked that number up yet because I'm concerned about, you know, just finding a keyboard and finding that. Once I find the keyboard, exact keyboard product number, you know, that'll tell me exactly what model X1 Carbon this is. So what I've already done, just so you know, it's pretty simple to get into these devices. You just unscrew all of the screws that are on the bottom, and the top there just kind of comes right off. Pretty simple there. Okay, that's going to expose this whole piece here is the battery, and then this is the main board. It's all one piece. It goes across here, and this is a little daughter board here. There's a couple of other buried little parts and pieces here, but we're going to remove the battery first, and I've also taken off the screws to do that. We have a screw here on this side, and there's a screw here. There's one down here on this corner here, and there's another one this corner right here, and then there's a smaller screw right in the middle. So you have to be aware that there is one smaller screw there that goes right in the middle of this battery area. So once those screws are out, before you remove the battery, there's also the connector, the battery connector, that you just pull out with your thumbnails or whatever you have, to gently pull that out of its socket, and then your battery will be pretty much ready to be removed. Be nice and gently just pull the battery out, and there's your battery. Notice there's no liquid damage or no signs of liquid. There's no signs of any kind of a liquid on there, so we'll set that aside. Okay, and that's going to expose some other ribbon cables and components. That exposes a little bit more, goes down another level here. But what we have all in here, this is the actual keyboard, all of this, so we're starting to see that. Okay, there is some part numbers here. I've looked those up. It's not really giving me any help with those, with these part numbers here. And with the palm rest, some of these part numbers hasn't helped me either, but we'll find out. I want to expose more of the keyboard because I think there's some part numbers somewhere else on this board that's going to help me out. So let's go ahead and we're going to try to remove the actual main board of this unit board here, but let's try to remove that. One thing I know we're going to have to remove is this ribbon cable here. Gently pry that up, and that's disconnected now. Looks like this cable needs to be disconnected, yes. So that lifts up like so. And this up and out like so. Okay, we've also popped off this. We flipped this up and have removed this ribbon cable, which is gives us more room, gives us room to lift the board. Over here, I've lifted this connector up and have removed, this is the video cable here, and I wasn't recording at the time. I thought I was, but right over here there is a plate that went over this. There was a plate here that we removed one screw, removed this plate, that was in this area here. I've then pulled this cable from this point on the board, and now we're going to be removing this cable here, which goes to this USB port. This tape comes up. Alright, this cable is now disconnected from the board, so all that is there. Alright, this is where the actual keyboard connects. So this is what we want to, we'll have to disconnect this also to remove the keyboard, so nice and gently here. Alright, that flips up. To remove this like so. Okay, so now our keyboard is now disconnected. So I'm looking here, I mean, I may attempt to go ahead and flip this motherboard back. So my plan is just to take the motherboard and fold it back this way. I don't think I have to remove all these cables to do that. With it, we'll just remove these motherboard screws here. Yep, there's another. It looks like there's white arrows pointing to each motherboard screw. There's one white arrow here. Take that off. Sorry guys. There was another screw here we took off, and another screw here that we took off. Okay. And then now we got one here in the middle. Remove that. It looks like the board is a little loose here. Something's holding it. Ah. We can actually remove this little clip. Did not notice that. It's right underneath the video cable. Oh. Ah, also. This is the card reader dummy slot is what that's hooked to. So now we should be able to remove that, maybe. Yep, so now that comes out. So that's what's kind of holding our board down there a little bit. Okay, let's see if that helps us out here. It should. Yeah, it's kind of something else that's kind of holding us down a little bit here. Not sure what that would be. So I don't know if you can see this, but right here is a tab that goes into one of the holes of the board. And basically that tab, we need to kind of clear that tab to pull this board off. You can see the board's loose. We also have the hinge right here that we need to clear. So all we really want to do is flip this back so we have a better, clearer look at this keyboard here. So let me see if we can achieve this without putting too much pressure or force on anything. So we don't want to force anything. There we go. Okay. So now I am able to sort of just flip this motherboard over. That's what we wanted to do right there. So that opens up us up almost to the entire bottom, the keyboard area here. And the good sign is there's no signs of liquid or water here. So that's all great. I want to go and look at the model number of this keyboard, and let's see if we can find out how this guy is mounted, basically by looking at the part. Right, so what we need to do now, of course, and as you notice here with this new keyboard, there's all these little holes, and in these little holes are lots and lots of little screws, and that's what we're going to have to remove. So we're going to start off by gently removing some of these little ribbon cables. Oh boy, I just don't want to put a lot of force or tension on these. And it comes up. So what I'm going to do, instead of unsnapping this, I think I'm going to go ahead and just remove this little board here. Okay. Just remove this little small board. All right. And we see here that this little ribbon goes up underneath it. So basically what I could probably do here, we'll just set that aside for now, just to see how this keyboard goes. Here's the other ribbon cable here going to the touchpad. We'll have to just kind of unwrap him. We'll pull that off like so. Comes right up, and probably just use a little piece of tape here just to kind of, the less I have to mess with these zip connectors, the better. So just put him right there for now. Yep, small board here. I'm going to have to take that board off. And this board comes out. Right there. We also have a small speaker wire here that runs up this side here that we have to contend with. Oh well, that's cool. This leave that like that. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, this is part, I believe that's part of the keyboard. Different color, but same concept. And it looks like this keyboard looks like it's ready to try to come out here. So let's get my really small screwdriver here. Okay, there's screws up underneath this too. Jeez. So this is just hold that down with a little bit of tape, like so. Yeah, nothing goes there. Okay, tons and tons and tons of little screws now. We'll be here a while. So we'll just go around and take them out one at a time, and very carefully, don't lose these guys. It's a very, very, very small screw. Extremely small. So yep, we'll work on that, and I won't sit here and let you watch me take all these screws off, so I'll get them all off and we'll start the recording again. Okay guys, I've got the screws out, but don't forget we have to take off this little red button board there. We take that off. That just, it's a little rubber piece that pops off just like that. Once we've done that and all the screws are out, all 65 or so of them, there's a little plastic piece. It's kind of glued down here. Okay. I'm really not sure what this is for, but it's a plastic piece that's kind of taped down, so I'm going to be sure to put this on the other board. It has something to do with where this motherboard kind of lays down on top of it, so we will be sure to put that back. And there's another screw there, so that's got to be careful of that. And now we can gently pull the keyboard up and away. Get up underneath this tape here. It's just kind of holding those antenna wires and all that in place. Nice, and gently pull that back. Got that. Oh, and guess what that does? That exposes another screw. There you go. No force, no force. Let's see. Small screw there. And now we can gently lift this board up. Should be able to, and out she comes. Yes. Okay, now that we've gotten our old keyboard out, we'll just take our new keyboard. Alright, and we will just gently lay the new keyboard back into place. into place like so. And then of course we'll go through the entire process of putting all these screws back in. So I'm going to get all these screws put back in, and then I'm going to start the recording again. Last one. 65 of these little devils, if I counted it right. Oh, let's just hope the keyboard's okay. I'd hate to have to go through that again. Pretty tedious, but there that is. All the screws are back in. So now we got to just assemble everything back how it was. The sticky side was here. Right, little plastic piece that's there for whatever reason. I'm going to go ahead and put that right back. Put everything back in reverse here. So I knew that was there pretty much. Use this guy. Yeah. Then we have this guy over here. There, it went like this, like so. There we go. And we'll put that one screw back. Right. I think that was like that. Yep. That was just like that. This looks like it's where it's supposed to be. Follow the lines there on the keyboard there. It shows you exactly where all your cables are supposed to be lined up at for the most part. This has 3M tape on the back. Let's see, here's one. We can go ahead and flip this guy back up. So I didn't take this part off, so we're just going to kind of lay back down how he was. Let's see. That's about how she was. Didn't really move anything else. Okay, the next thing now what we want to do is get this motherboard kind of put back into place without burying any cables that we need. So let's see, I'm going to just flip this guy back. This was a little bit tricky if you recall. Kind of wedging it or working it back into place. She was a little tricky for sure, trying to clear this area over here. And we also got to keep in mind that we have cables that need to be on this side of the board. That cable needs to be there. But this was pretty tricky here, so we're just going to kind of work with this a little bit. See if we can get her wedged back in there without forcing anything. That went pretty good. Look at that. Wow. I tell you what, putting her in is a lot better than taking her out. So far so good. I'm still looking for this. We're still missing this ribbon cable over here. It's on that guy. Flip it up. Yep. That's got to go there for that. And it's tricky. this does not go underneath the board. It goes right here, and this this just tucks back under the board is all that does. Got me on that one. And you know how I just went back and I looked at my video of what whenever I took it apart. And it's been over a week now because this board came in from China and I couldn't quite remember how the cable was ran there, but it goes on top. So that's another good reason to videotape and photograph your work. Come on, there we go. Just kind of double checking everything here. There's this guy, which is going to go into there. There's this guy that's going to go there. And all of my cabling looks like it's routed okay. Okay, so we're going to go back and take a look here at in the exact reverse order that I've done things here. We're going to take a look at putting our little card reader back in. Card reader. So that looks like, yeah, that went over the board. There's a little lip. So we just put this back into place. There we go. And put our screw back into place here. We'll slide our little dummy slot in like so. Maybe it's the wrong way. Try it like this. There we are. So that's there. Okay, we now have our 5 motherboard screws, and we'll go ahead and get those back in here. Those are just basically go where you see white arrows. So here's one here. There's a white arrow here. Yep, another white arrow. Is it? Yep, another white arrow here. Got another white arrow on this one. There's a white arrow on this guy. We have one more somewhere. All right. That is going back into place. I think we can try to get these ribbon cables all kind of plugged back in. So we'll start on this side. Gently, gently. All right. Then we have this cable here that snaps down on this. So it should snap down. Yep, snap right in there. The actual keyboard ribbon here. So before we lay it down, we'll just peel back that 3M tape. 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 So that's in there. Lock it down, snap. Okay, and then we'll just come back and kind of push down on the cable there a bit. That looks good. Here's another cable here. That one slid in there nicely. There we go. Make sure it's straight. That one's locked in pretty good there. We'll worry about that cable here in a minute. Let's flip this up. This guy here, kind of funny, but I think we can get him in here. It would be a tricky one. Ooh, that looks good. That looks good. Here's another one. That one looks good. Locks down nicely. All right. Looking good so far. We got this guy. I think that looks pretty good there. Yeah. Motherboard goes to this USB port over here. This just snaps down. Snap. Push all this tape back down here. Okay, and let's not forget about our little plate that goes over this power jack area. Let's see how we go here. It goes like this. Yeah. It goes just like that. A little better. We got this one screw that goes in there. Okay. So there's that, guys. That pretty much leaves just one more thing, which is the battery. So now the battery is going to go into place like so. The board there and there, then come down. I think that's what we're going to do right there. So we got our battery, got our battery into place. Let's see if we can go ahead and just get this battery locked into place. One there. One there. One here. And one here. And one in the middle, of course, guys. Don't forget about that one. All right. Well, the battery is in place. All the screws are used. So that's a good sign as usual. And then we just plug our battery in. There we go. So yeah, this is the bottom screws stay in it. So let's just kind of just set this on here temporarily. Just leave that on there temporarily, and let's open up this guy. Keyboard looks good. Keyboard looks very good. Okay. Let's get our power adapter. All right, we'll plug our power in. Press the power button. We got Lenovo. We're booting. said this might be in Chinese, which is okay. It is in Chinese. Keyboard working. See? This is a good sign. There it is, Notepad. Okay, we're going to go Notepad here. We're going to try all these numbers, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're good, everybody. And of course, we'll just go ahead and tighten up the screws on the back of this, on the bottom here. And I think we'll call it a job done. Everything's in Chinese, so you can't see it. All the keys work. Hey everyone, I hope this helps somebody out. Please rate and subscribe to my feed. I would really appreciate it. Got more videos coming your way. Find me over at timscomputerfix.net. See you next time.